Welcome to G4G on YouTube. It has been a while since I've done myself in a video. Um, Actually, I think it's probably the first time I've put the camera on since Marvel Avengers Alliance died. But it is a semi-special occasion, and I kind of have my Winter Soldier haircut going on. So, truth be told, you can laugh at this all you want, but when I go to get a haircut at a place by me called the Guy's Place, it's one of those places with like buckets of peanuts, and there's like a TV in every cubicle when you get your haircut done. I literally show a picture of Chris Evans from Winter Soldier. I'm like, this is the haircut that I want. So this is about a weekend old now, and I always call this the Winter Soldier haircut. So today's backdrop is going to be Marvel Avengers Alliance 2. I just wanted to mix it up a little bit and kind of have something different going on over here. And basically, as you can see from the title, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that I hit 2,600 subscribers, so 2.6K going on over here. Been over 2,000 for a while. I can remember what it was like to hit 1,000. And believe it or not, even with the death of Marvel Avengers Alliance, the subscribers have actually continued to grow. I'm surprised to see it was 2,600 when I looked today, flat, like 2.6K right on the dot, as I was in the 2.5K range recently. But I kind of wanted to do a little bit of like a shout out video and a little bit of a talky video on the channel itself, not specifically necessarily tied to Marvel Avengers Alliance and such. So, back here in this background is the global release video for Marvel Avengers Alliance 2 when it came out. This is one of the ones that did fairly well for itself at the time at almost 14.8K views. Mostly because I had been in Marvel Avengers Alliance 2 well before it went global, so I had kind of a head start and I knew what was coming, and that was actually fairly common for me with a lot of the Marvel games, that even Avengers Alliance. So I was part of the beta for MAA, but then when it came to Tactics and number 2, I was playing them before they went global. So for 2, it wasn't on Facebook. You just basically got the APK from global sources and you started playing. Tactics being on Facebook, it actually required me to change my Chrome's location settings to be out of the Philippines or Brazil, and that allowed me to play the game ahead of the global release because I was like faking Facebook into thinking I was a region where it was allowed. So by the time Tactics drops, I mean, here it was on global release day. You could see I was level 26 at the time. I do miss Marvel Avengers Alliance 2. I think a lot of people claimed it rang the death knell for number 1 because it didn't do well. I disagree with that. I think Disney probably would have taken action on Marvel Avengers Alliance 1 regardless of what 2 did. And I really don't think 2 was that bad, and maybe we wouldn't even have Strike Force today if it wasn't for 2. It's interesting. I'm watching this video now, and as much as I've forgotten a lot about 2, I see this video in the background and it makes me kind of wish it was still around. Like, I would probably be enjoying it a lot. But then again, I've just got a ridiculous amount of games that I play. But it's interesting to reconnect and see my roster again. And I remember how ridiculously overpowered that Wasp was. I can't remember what other characters were like really super good back at the time, especially when you compare them in rank to how everybody is now in Future Fight and Strike Force. But I wanted to dip over here to the actual landing page of my channel and kind of discuss some of what you see going on over there. So there's the 2.6K subscribers, yay. And a lot of you guys following me now know me for the Marvel Avengers Alliance content, but as you can see here, I did plenty before MAA even came out, and MAA is not some of my most viewed videos. My most viewed video, 2 videos, 3 videos, come from when I was doing the TTC stuff, which is Tim's Tech Corner. And this one over here is how to root a Dell Streak 7 and Jelly Bean 4.2 from well over 5 years ago. That is by far and away my most popular video, which is amazing. An HTC Flyer running Jelly Bean, so this was post-root. Now the Flyers were very, very tough to root, especially my model. So that one was kind of ridiculous, and I can see why that one's so popular. Rooting the TF300, the Asus Transformer 300, and then we have some Wrath of the Lich King beta content over here of a level 80 mage doing Wintergrass, the Vault, and the Malagos raid. And then a Lenovo IdeaPad K1 running Jelly Bean. And so this is the first gaming related one, which is in fourth place, not third or one or two. Then back to Tim's Tech Corner, and then a Marvel Strike Force video beating out all my other Marvel videos. Back to a beta Wrath of the Lich King video, another beta video, and then finally Marvel Avengers Alliance may be coming back, which was more in relation to the Saviors in the Multiverse project. And then Bounty Hounds Online. So this is interesting. This Bounty Hounds Online one is huge in the Philippines. Like, go figure that one of my top 10 videos is ridiculously popular with Filipinos. It's like, okay. And then the Ashbringer sequence for the Caverns of Time Durnhold in World of Warcraft. So this is basically the whole Ashbringer sequence about how the members of the Light worked with Ashbringer and purified the crystal, and I had it set to the ending music of Chrono Cross, which, by the way, is one of my favorite games. Everybody loves Trigger, but I love Cross, and the end song, I think, is one of the best things ever in gaming history. So that's my top 10. Only one Marvel Avengers Alliance video made it into the top 10, and that's not even from when the game was live. So that's interesting. And then you see some videos that I've got up recently. A Marvel Strike Force video, Marvel Battle Lines, the video on what happened to Kingfisher 745's channel, which, by the way, everybody, be happy. Kingfisher's channel is live again. If I'm going to do a video on the fact, like, where did his videos go, we have to deal with the fact that him with his almost 22.5k subscribers, his videos are back up. And this is a good thing, because as much as a lot of my videos are chronicles of the game when it was live, so definitely is Kingfisher, and he did way more videos than me and way more topics than I did, including like doing heroic battles and stuff like that. So it's very good to see that his videos are not private again. And that's huge, because as I said to a recent commenter on my channel, his videos are a living library for the game. And it would be stupid to have any jealousy or like infighting between us, because we both did similar things. While we both were in the same game, we had very different mindsets when we approached the game and did very different kinds of videos. So there's no reason to expect us not to like get along or something, like be Coke and Pepsi, or the right and the left in American politics. So I'm very, very happy to see that his videos are back. So a couple things that I wanted to talk about. You might be wondering, well, what are some of the games that you're playing now aside from, the Marvel Avengers Alliance? Redux. Well, admittedly, I usually only play Redux when it's time for a video. Mostly because I don't want to sour the experience when Redux gets to a really good point, probably a beta level, and have burnt myself out by the time it is actually playable, and progression is going to be permanently saved. Now, progression is savable now from session to session, but who knows if there will be a wipe in a future version. So I'm kind of like chilling out when it comes to Redux, but I always do play it at the time that there are updates and I do videos on it, or if there's a topic. The top row here kind of sort of gives you an idea of what I've been playing for Marvel games. I'm doing Strike Force, Battle Lines, and Future Fight. I've never touched Academy, and I've never touched Puzzle Quest. I do have Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 on my 360, but I've maybe played about 10 minutes of one of them. I have the latest Spider-Man game for the PS4, but my girlfriend's played more of that than I have, although I've done some of it. And I've watched her play a good deal of it. She was very interested in it, but then she wound up moving over to Red Dead 2. So, aside from those Marvel games, other mobile games that I'm playing, and I'm just basically going to look at my laptop's BlueStacks over here. Another Eden. Another Eden is by the guy who did Chrono Cross. And it is a mobile game that is available on iOS, on Android. It is phenomenal because it is a console experience on mobile. It is not a free-to-play experience. It's very, very hard to spend money in that game, and there was a specific focus on that, is that he just basically created a new IP, but he put it out on mobile. But it very easily could have been a Steam game, maybe even like a Facebook Flash game or something like that. A $10 indie or something. Another Eden, if you are a Final Fantasy or Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross fan, do yourself a favor and get this. It's another Eden, A Cat in Time. It's one that you could probably spend hours playing at your own energy level, because there isn't like energy or stamina in the game, so you can play it as long as you want to. The Final Fantasy mobile games, I'm doing Mobius, Brave Exvius, and Record Keeper. I have stopped playing the game that Brave Exvius was based on. I haven't touched that in years. Of those three, Record Keeper is my favorite. I also used to play the Swipe one, whose name I forget. It's the one where like all your characters were on this side, all the enemies were here, and you just like swipe like that till a special meter got filled, and then you did like ultimates and everything. I don't remember the name of it, but I actually beat that one. Warner Brothers Looney Tunes, been playing that one a bit. That one's kind of one of those ones where I do my daily and I get out. There's not a lot of energy right now in the game. It's very easy to burn out of energy, and PvP could be a little tough. They actually just recently had a raid boss in Tweedy, and I came like this close to doing it. I knew the pattern, but like just as he's about ready to die, he gets very fast and aggressive in his pattern, and I'm not able to survive, or wasn't able to survive his ultimate attack that basically if you were hidden, it did way less damage. It was manageable, and I had Sylvester's kid was my healer, and then I had a bunch of hidden characters, and I just kept healing up after the ultimate was good to go, but towards the end, my hidden wasn't back up in time for his ultimate, so he did a lot of damage. I got wiped. It was like really close. I was underpowered, but I maybe got on to like 5%. That was the best that I could do. It's a fun game. Iron Maiden Legacy of the Beast. This one is one that I do tend to spend some time on, especially on the weekends. I like it. I'm an Iron Maiden fan. The music in it is really good. The characters in it are amazing. They have a great library to pull from in terms of eddies, because there's so many different eddies out there, from the album covers like the Somewhere in Time Eddie, the Seventh Son, the Fear of the Dark One. But then they just invent new eddies, and it works, like a Samurai Eddie or King Alexander Eddie. And it's the creatures that they pull into this. Yes, you have some from their music like Clairvoyant and the Beast, but they're inventing whole swatches of characters in there that they're essentially injecting into the Iron Maiden universe that necessarily don't have a basis from their music, and I think that's really inventive, and I like it. There's also a lot of good synergy in that game between characters. DC Legends, if you knew of me back when I was playing Marvel Avengers Alliance, I am a way bigger a way bigger Marvel fan than I ever would be in DC. I love the Marvel Universe way more. There is always so much hype for me with Marvel movies, being on the MCU side or the mutant side. And DC movies, they're a blip on my radar, but they don't make an impact. It is like a piece of rain falling from the sky when it's DC compared to a fucking meteor hitting when it's a Marvel movie. So when it comes to DC stuff, I didn't think Batman vs. Superman was nearly as bad as people said it was. Although the Martha stuff at the end was kind of ridiculous, and that weird warp thing where the guy was like trying to break through. I like the Superman movies, especially the one with Zod and the other Kryptonians. I thought that one was actually good. I've stayed away from Suicide Squad because people keep telling me I'm supposed to, and I have. Although DC Legends, I will do DC Legends one credit. It does make me sort of really want to see it. I don't watch any of the DC shows. Have zero interest in any of the DC shows. And I thought Wonder Woman was very good. One of my strongest characters in DC Legends is Dr. Poison from the Wonder Woman movie. And then I also have Siren, Zatanna, and Broccoli, or Metaphyll, which is a Green Lantern character. Those are my top four. They are my PvP team. And I also have somewhat high Banes, Harley Quinn, and a couple others. But that's my big four is Siren, Broccoli, Zatanna, and Dr. Poison. They just get everything done for me that I need to get them to do, and they have a really good synergy in terms of the bleeds and everything. And honestly, if you want, until Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux is in a place where everybody's happy with it, if you want a game that has really, really good synergy, DC Legends is kind of the one to do it. You can build teams around like buffs or debuffs or bleeds, crits and everything like that. So that's kind of a fun game. I just don't do content for it anymore. I used to be very big into Heroes of Dragon Age, but after a recent BlueStacks upgrade on my laptop, Heroes of Dragon Age doesn't work anymore. Still very, very active in Strike Force, and I do some videos on it. Marvel Battle Lines, as you can see here in this video, it has crept up there, and I do play it daily. I at least do some of the dailies. I don't do any of the PvP modes on it, unfortunately, like arena and challenges, but I do like the Spec Ops and whatever is the PvE mission of the week or monthly, the dailies. It's kind of fun, and I think it is way better than people thought when they thought it was just going to be some weird Connect 4 tic-tac-toe game. It appeals to the collector because it's a card game like Hearthstone and Magic. But then when you're actually in a battle, there's a lot more thinking going on the field than you would initially expect. So there's that. I still would be playing Marvel Avengers Alliance 2 if it existed or could, or if somebody was resurrecting this the way Marvel Avengers Alliance 1 is, but that's a different story. A little on the side, I play Chronoblade a little bit, Final Fantasy, the Dissidia mobile game that has all the characters. It's like got opera in it, if I remember correctly. That's a fringe. Those two are fringe for me. Fallout, the Fallout Vault game, that mobile game, that one I played pretty much daily for a long time. I don't anymore because it's not on any of my active tablets or phones. But I do like that one a lot, and I think it is also one of the cheapest games out there. I think you don't necessarily have to spend a lot of money on that game, and when you do, it's very inexpensive. So I think you get a lot of bang for your buck there. Like, you just spend $5, and they give you like 10 lunch boxes, which is their like loot boxes, and you get really cool stuff. And my vault is completely equipped to the gills over there. I really should go back and at least touch that game daily. I just don't. I don't play any Facebook games anymore. Words with Friends Against My Mother is like the only thing I do over there now. And then my main games that are not mobile games are not Hearthstone. Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, World of Warcraft. As it sounds like I'm pretty much a Blizzard guy, which I guess you could say that I am. I've been running a WoW guild since 2004, so that is some of why you see Blizzard content over here. And it does seem like I shared a little bit of that with Kingfisher. I don't know of him for WoW content, but when you look at his channel, I see he did some like Legion videos, and I tend to do beta videos myself, but I don't do public test realm videos because I rarely ever go to the public test realm. I know they're not spoilers, but I kind of consider them spoilers, so I kind of let it wash over me when it goes live. So I've been thinking about this video on and off throughout the week, and I was really thinking about it today before I came up here and started filming it. And one of the things that kind of struck me when it came to Marvel Avengers Alliance, and I just realized this today, and I don't know if we ever thought about this when MAA was live. We didn't have a ridiculously popular PvP star doing videos. Yes, you had myself and Kingfisher, who were up in Adamantium and were for a very, very long time. I mean, I was at least up there for the last 2 years, if not a little bit more. And towards the end, I would say I would spent the last year, especially when I was streaming, pushing the 2,000 plus range, which was cool. Even though there were some seasons where I was like, fuck this season, I hate this meta, goddamn, this is bullshit, blah, 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 blah. I'm not even going to put effort into this, and fuck it. Oh, hey, I'm at 1975. All right, I'll push for 2,000. Yeah, I had those seasons where I was like, blah, 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 middle fingers everywhere. And then it still like wound up happening. And some of them were like really easy. Some of them were still a bit of a struggle. But you have a lot of these games now. Like you have Overwatch. You have professional Overwatch players that maintain their own content in their streams. And you have guilds doing it for World of Warcraft. You have professional, there is no more pro HOTS because Blizzard killed it, but you had professional Heroes players doing their own streams and everything. It just kind of hit me today, and did we ever really think about this when MAA was live? Where were the PvP superstars putting out content videos for Marvel Avengers Alliance? Admittedly, maybe there is in other languages. You had a very big Brazilian and Latin American contingent in Marvel Avengers Alliance. It is entirely possible that they're out there. They were just not English-speaking videos. Yeah, totally understand that. I'm not trying to be ethnocentric here, but it just kind of hit me like Marvel Strike Force has got some people who are very well known for Blitz and Arena, and they put out their predictions. I mean, like I'm gonna throw a nod to Casino there and others. And then, of course, we have other games like World of Warcraft and the other Blizzard games and Hearthstone. I mean, you've got Hearthstone basically is a PvP game, and you have well-known Arena people who do videos and stream and YouTube videos and everything like that. But we didn't have that in Marvel Avengers Alliance. I did deal with PvP, but I mean, I'm talking, and so did Kingfisher, obviously, but I'm talking about where were the people who might be competing for the top 5 spots on the ladder, the top 10 spots, even a top 50 player. Where were those people doing videos like, here's the meta, here's a good defensive team, here's a good offensive team, here is something that counters this meta or defends against. I feel like we didn't have that. And it's not that mine or Kingfisher's videos weren't very appropriate for PvP. They certainly were. But we weren't top 10, 5, or 50 material, maybe even top 100. I don't really recall what our highest finishes were amongst the two of us over there, but it just sort of dawned on me that we didn't have that PvP superstar. We had PvE superstars, definitely. And I mean, you can go back to the beginning of the game and you could throw Inhuman Beatdown in there, who I never watched any of his videos, and I was certainly happy that I didn't watch his videos when somebody linked me to a video of him crying that he was leaving the game because it was so hard. It's so hard to play the game. Like, what, dude? You're crying over a Facebook game? Seriously? Like, unless you sold your firstborn child into slavery and now you regret it because you want to leave the game, like, what are you crying over? What are you having a massive bitch fit over? CJ Lewis, that's another one I remember from the beginning of the game, and I did watch him, especially when I first started and was trying to build workable PvP teams. It was like Kingfisher and CJ Lewis. That's who I went to. And then I got to a point where people were coming to my videos for it, and that was fun. And this is what I wanted to talk about now, is I wanted to give some shout-outs to a lot of the people that come and comment on my videos, basically old and new. So one of the new guys that comes by a lot is Darth Plato. I want to thank you for your comments in my videos. I like anybody who I can have fairly common discussions with, and Darth comments on a bunch of my different videos from game to game. I like that. Clash has recently returned. Clash was somebody who would come by the stream and definitely was fairly big on my videos in the end year of Marvel Avengers Alliance 2015-2016. Shout out to JW, Jay Wyatt, one of the people who I liked interacting most with on my streams because we bounced a lot of ideas back and forth together, and we were of a solid, very high intelligence mind when it came to teams like that and setting synergies and talking about crazy things. Hopping from JW, I have to give a missing shout out to Alex Bach. Alex was another guy who was on my streams a lot, but towards the end, I had some issues with Alex. He claimed that maybe wasn't most, it was maybe all, my videos were content ripped from JW's brains, and it actually started a big fight between us because he didn't say it to me. He went around and saying it in other MAA circles that, oh, Napalm's videos are just rip-offs from JW's brain. And not even JW agrees with that because we all know that that was bullshit. Yes, on my streams there were times when the PvP dailies were over, the PvE energy was run out, and we just did crazy things together. We did weird resurrection teams and stuff like that, and JW was always present for them, but they weren't his ideas, even if he was part of the back and forth ping-ponging of it. And when I heard that he was going around telling people I had no original content, and not even accusing me of ripping off Kingfisher, which is understandable, but I was never ripping off Kingfisher, but, like, that's the one, if anything, you should say I would be ripping off, because he's the biggest person in the community. But to say that was JW was just mind-blowing ridiculous, and, like, fuck him for that. But he's disappeared. I don't talk to him much anymore. I've got some people on line chat, which was the line chat from way back then. I miss Kiwi Samurai. That was another person that was on the stream a lot and commented on videos. You know, shout out to the people in the Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux Discord and the Facebook group. The writers division over there handling the Spec Ops and the chapters, they were doing phenomenal work, and I guarantee you when MAAR goes live, or at the very least the beta, there will be content to come in this. So even though the game will release slowly back from its day one content to how it died in 2016, to be clear, it is using 2016's code base. However, Goofy's going to release it slowly over time, similar to the WoW Classic server, how that's going to work. But there will come a point where we run out of the old content, and that is where the writers group is coming in. They've done a lot of phenomenal work on chapters And Spec Ops, I can't really say if they've done any covert ops yet. I don't follow that, but covert ops were tiny to begin with. They are also designing potential new heroes for the game and new lockboxes and stuff like that. We are sticking very much to the old way of thinking that a lockbox is a villain who has got some redeeming qualities. We're not going to throw like Galactus in a lockbox because people want him. We're only doing the things that make sense. So it's not going to be Mugen. You're not going to see Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter or Superman from DC in there. It's going to be Marvel games. Now, I've had a joke like, you know, for an April Fool, we should have Playdom Man in there, and I was designing a Playdom Man kit, but that's for fun. I would not never expect it to be in the game. But while I'm giving them a shout out to Goofy's work, to the writer's work on chapters and Spec Ops, we absolutely need artists. If you are capable of drawing the full screen splash art, like when people are talking, that's needed, because we can't just keep dialogue to people that we have assets for. There are going to be people who need to talk that are new. So we need people who can kind of emulate the old Playdom style of the art. Spriters and animators, like I've been saying from day one, this is the hardest part of all of, I mean, what Goofy's doing is technically the hardest part. He's in the code. But for the things that the general public can do to assist, animations and new sprites are the hardest thing for us, because we can take, you know, a sprite like, let's say, Moondragon. We could probably take Moondragon and recolor bits of her and be like, hey, there's Polaris, there's Magneto's daughter. But you know it's like Moondragon under there, just a little bit of a palette swap, like, say, Sub-Zero and Scorpion in the early Mortal Kombat. It's like they got the ninja padded garb and just one's blue, one's yellow. We need people who are capable of designing new sprites. Like, let's say we want to do fucking Professor X and his little yellow hover chair thing, and you wanted to put him on the field. There is no basis for that in the game as a sprite. So that is where we really, really need people. We need graphic-minded people who can do that. We need people who can at least draw the sprite, and then we need people who can animate it. Because when you look at original Marvel Avengers Alliance sprite cells, you'll see there's the body, and then there's like the arms separated from it. Because, for example, if you take the agent, there might be the agent like this, and then you'll have the agent with a gun, or then the agent with a sword. So the arm has to be set in two different static pieces, and then it actually has to be animated. So that's the stuff that the divisions really, really need. And if you are watching this video and you think you can assist graphically, and by the way, don't troll us, because we will get rid of you so fast. And there's plenty of people who are probably watching this video who've already experienced with it. Like, do not fuck with us. We need honest spriters and animators and graphically minded people to assist. The writers group, they're killing it. I'm not going to say we don't need new writers, but the existing ones are doing a very, very good job. And that's not really where the depth of our need is. Our depth is now graphics people and people who know the language of the game and can assist with Goofy, that maybe can offload them a project. Like, okay, you work on getting the buffs fixed, I will work on doing debuffs. Like, maybe there's that too, but I don't speak for Goofy in that. So yeah, that's pretty much my video over here, guys. I just want to say thank you so much for sticking with the channel after MAA died. I've seen a lot of people come back who haven't commented for a while that are excited. A shout out to the Marvel Avengers Alliance wiki. I miss being there. Like, I was never one for the Playdom forums unless I was reading patch notes. I didn't engage over there because it kind of was a cesspool of stupidity at times. And it may sound ridiculously elitist and arrogant of me, I understand, but the Playdom forums were a little plebey at times. The Avengers Alliance wiki, though, I really liked over there. There was a lot more higher level of thought. And I got to give a shout out to Pot Kettle Black. I know that's a divisive person to give a shout out to, because not a lot of people liked him. Like JW and others thought He was just a very, very snotty elitist dickhead. And at times, the Avengers Alliance wiki admins were very Gestapo-ish. I actually got banned one time for sticking up for the legit... It was only like 24 hours, but I'm like, guys, jailbreaking an iOS device is not always about committing game crimes and game hacks and everything like that. It opens up iOS to be as malleable as Android. And, like, what was her name? Like, Shiza, not Shiza. It was a girl's name who began with, like, SH or something. She, like, gave everybody a 24-hour vacation that posted in that thread. And I wrote a big fucking letter to the admins of the wiki. I'm like, this is ridiculous. The only thing I was doing was defending jailbreaking. I am not for cheats. If you know me at all, I do not support hacks and cheats. I'm condemning all the people who come over from Game FAQs that talk about it. That's not what my post was about. It was basically destroying misconceptions about what jailbreaking means. And yeah, like, they didn't lift the ban. I had to wait the 24 hours for that. I have to give a shout out to that time that I was censored in the Adamantium Process Facebook. So Alan, the leader of AP, and I, we don't see eye to eye when it comes to MAA. He's glad it's dead. He didn't like it when it was alive, but he's a big fan of Future Fight. He now gives Future Fight its due credit when they get a little bit greedy, but at the time he always stuck up for Future Fight, and I stuck up for Marvel Avengers Alliance in terms of the greed. I'm like, this is not the greediest Marvel game out there. That's Contest of Champions. And we got into it one day, and, like, I wasn't attacking him, but I was pointing out, like, I ranked the Marvel games from greediest to less greedy, and he, like, censored my post. And I was on stream, and I went and, like, tried to bring up the post, and it was censored, and, like, I flipped out on the stream. I was like, oh my fucking god, that dude censored me? Oh, that's bullshit. You don't censor me, motherfucker. Like, who the hell are you? Like, it was ridiculous, and it was a very Nazi tactic. I didn't deserve to be censored at all. But he actually, like, deleted a post that I had, and I was like, you piece, you fucking dirt. Like, I was so mad. The stream was like, oh my god, Nap is going off over here. And yeah, like, I didn't rage on my stream very much. PvP made me rage, and that's another time that Alex and I had gotten into it. He's like, Nap, can you not yell as much when you're playing? I went, fuck you, I'll yell if I want to, goddamn PvP bullshit, pesty and fucking enchantress. Like, it was something like that. And, like, I like yelled at him for telling at me not to yell. But I'm a lot calmer now that my girlfriend moved in. She's visiting her parents for the weekend for Easter. But and immediately I was yelling at her to the storm last night, which is why my voice is a little raspy today. But yeah, that sort of calmed me down quite a bit. But yeah, that was a fun situation there when I was censored. And I also had this huge back and forth with this ridiculous troll on the Avengers Alliance wiki. It was on a character's page, and I just chewed this idiot up. I mean, for him, you could tell English was a second language, so some of what he was saying was off just because it was losing it in translation. But this guy, I think it was a guy maybe named Scarlet Witch or something like that, but there's a couple times on my old streams where I would highlight that page of the wiki and be like, you guys got to check this out. He replied today. So, you know, and then, of course, a shout out to anybody that I've missed that I've become Facebook friends with, thanks to Marvel Avengers Alliance. A lot of us, we have our differences. I consider myself left. There's people I'm friends with that consider themselves right. We go back and forth on that. There is a guy that is right, Justin. We don't actually get into politics. Like, we talk heavy metal and stuff like that. So it's very interesting how many very varied friends that I made through Marvel Avengers Alliance and I still have them today, and I was reluctant to add people to Facebook just to get them in the game because I considered myself private, and now I've got a lot of people that, I would miss if I wasn't friends with them. There's a guy, GG Gorn, who used to post in a lot of my videos, and he's on my Facebook. And what I remember most about him is we had a lot of good conversations, and he loves my cat. Like, I would post my cat pictures, Arthas, and he would always have something nice to say about it. He's like, oh, don't let me near North Carolina or I'm stealing this cat next time I come by. Agent Ricey, there's another one that has kind of fallen off that I really don't talk to as much anymore. And I talked to him a lot back in the day, and he was on my Facebook. I think he was the one who did like a big, he like toured Ireland for like a month or something. He was posting a lot of Ireland related pictures. Storm God Sumiyoshi, who was a member of Adamantium Process until he didn't like the stance that the Escuchin ISO on Kurth was being considered a bug, and AP would ban you if they caught you using it. He thought that was a little much. He's like, if the game's allowing it and they're not considering it an exploit, like, what's the big deal? So there was a section of AP that broke off at that time because they didn't like that, and I sort of lost touch with Sumiyoshi over there, who was responsible for getting me into AP. He was actually like, dude, you've got to come over to AP over here. I think it'd be a good fit. I'm like, dude, I'm not even really that good at PvP. He's like, no, trust me. And then I got in there and I'm like, oh my god, like Napalm Dawn's here? And I'm like, really? They're like, I'm not Kingfisher. Why are people having that reaction? I'm just little old me. And they're like, hey, it's Napalm Dawn who does the videos. Like, he's in our group now. I was like, wow, that's okay. Didn't expect that. But, yeah, so the future over here, definitely going to be continuing to do Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux videos. Would like to start doing some more Strike Force videos, but that's a tough one. Sometimes the videos come out popular, sometimes they don't. Nothing much I could do there. Battle Lines, probably going to be keeping up with some updates there. DC Legends has dropped off for me. I haven't done a DC Legends video in a long time. Future Fight, I tend to keep up with when they have like a big update, and I'm sure once Endgame comes out, there will be a lot of Marvel videos there. And one of the things I admit I miss the most is the week in Marvel Avengers Alliance, that I made it a point. I wanted to go one entire year without missing 1 week of those videos, and I actually did one from visiting my parents in Wilmington. I did one from their backyard just to keep the trend going at the time over there. And yeah, I did make it. I did make it a whole year of doing a week in Marvel Avengers Alliance, and that wasn't always easy to come up with a topic every single week for that, but usually PvP and PvE content gave me something to do over there. But I do look forward to hopefully resurrecting that one. The stream is going to be tough. I've got a job now. Maybe I can stream over the weekends, but girlfriend streams a lot too. Our computers are in the same room, which is why my videos tend to come and go lately in clumps, is because she'll be doing stuff and I can't do a video because she's talking over there and you're going to hear it. So finally, when she goes quiet, like when she's doing her art and everything, I get out all my video ideas at once. I was like, ooh, she's quiet today, and I do 1, 2, 3 videos or something like that, and then there's like another gap for 2 weeks where I don't get to do a video. But Hearthstone, that's another one I used to do a lot of videos. Not Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm. Second time I've done that, but Heroes of the Storm is officially considered dead professionally from Blizzard, although they will still be doing content. So yeah, you're mostly going to get Marvel things from me. Tim's Tech Corner, I don't know if that'll ever get resurrected. I could have done a video on rooting an Essential phone. That was my latest root project, but I didn't. So that's it, guys. Again, thank you very, very much for the 2.6k subs. I hope I'm doing you all right. And stay with the channel as Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux goes through a lot of hard work. And let's touch base again for sure when Endgame comes out. We talked a little bit when Captain Marvel was coming out. Of course, all the issues before the movie came out. So when Endgame comes out, let's touch base for sure with a review of that movie when it happens, spoilers or not. So take care, everybody. Good seeing you again. Peace.